Guys, Robert Bat1 here, coming at you with, finally, after the longest time, my Elemental Hero deck profile. Now, obviously, it has been a long time coming for me to do an Elemental Hero deck profile. I've been testing this deck, I've been working on this deck, I've been working on different ratios, varieties, variants, and I've been working on ratios, cards that I should put in, cards that I shouldn't put in, and I finally have a build that I feel confident enough to show you guys, because, well, the hero deck has evolved so much over the years, and recently it's hit a point where you really couldn't play anything else other than pure heroes, with like Vision heroes, Destiny heroes, and Elemental heroes. But what I really wanted to try and do with this build was try to take a step back from that, get away from the Forest, get away from the Destiny heroes, and make a build that isn't that. Make a build that is more control heavy, like heroes kind of used to be at one point, such as in the Bumblebee and the Dark Lord Turbo format. Try to make a list that really just does focus on different areas of the deck to just try and make the deck a little more combo control variant. And I really feel like I've hit a build that I'm happy with to show you guys that does this, because this deck really is mainly an Elemental Hero based deck. I literally have tried every variant of this deck, and I've been working on so many different ways to play it. So I feel like this is a list that really does work. It's a very control heavy build of heroes, and I really enjoy it. If you guys do want to see a combo build though of this deck, where you play like the Vision Hero, Forest, the Destiny heroes, and all of that, that will be coming soon as well. I do have a new build of that I have worked on as well. But this is the first build that I wanted to show you, because this is what I wanted to show the most of all, because, well, it truly is my favorite deck, and I really want to showcase this build of heroes. So, without further ado, let's actually get into the list. Sorry for that beep in the background, my computer went off, but nonetheless, let's get into this so you guys can see the new and improved Elemental Hero deck profile. So, of course, with this deck, we are starting off with triple Elemental Hero Stratos. He is the best Elemental Hero in the deck out of all the other heroes, being the one that literally says on summon, when summoned, you can literally search any hero monster from your deck to your hand. Also having the added ability of instead of adding, you can destroy spells and traps, but he literally just says, I'm going to add any Elemental Hero monster to my hand, and that is very, very important, because if you can't add Shadow Mist to your hand with this deck, which is something you would do quite a lot, this card would not be as good. So this card is very important. You have to play 3 of it. Pretty much this is a 2 or 3 of in any hero deck, but in this build you must play 3. I would not recommend playing 2 of this card, because this card is very, very useful in the deck. Just being able to search any hero from your deck is very useful. It gives you plays for next turn, it gives you plays for the turn you're currently on, so it really is important to play 3 of this card. Next, we're also playing triple Elemental Hero Shadow Mist. Pretty much this build focuses very heavily on Shadow Mist, for the fact that Dark Lore is very important in this build. This is as I said before, this is more of a control variant of the heroes, so you need to be playing as many ways to make Dark Lore as possible. So this card right here is a card that is very important. You need to be seeing this every game. You need to be seeing a way to special summon this card every game. So we play 3 of this card just to kind of guarantee that. So you want to be playing 3 Elemental Hero Shadow Mist in the deck just to guarantee that you will see it in your opening hand, or just so you can guarantee that there's a way to summon it. Now, obviously, Stratos is also a very key way to do that, but you need to open the Shadow Mist for that, or you need to have a way to get to Shadow Mist. So free Shadow Mist is very important in this deck. Next, we play 1 Elemental Hero Liquid Soldier. He's here purely because he says, I get to summon a hero from the graveyard. You will never use its draw effect in this deck, because we're not playing cards like Polymerization or Miracle Fusion, and some people might say that is crazy. Oh, you're not playing these really, really powerful cards in the deck, but as I said before, this is a control variant of heroes. It's supposed to be a control build, so you're not going to really utilize the effects with cards like Polymerization and stuff like that. So you only need 1 Liquid Soldier. We also only play one Solid Soldier. I have tested this variant with 2 and 1. 2 is good, I'm not gonna lie, but 1 I just feel like is good enough, because you only really need hit this card on turn 1 with Stratos. So if you don't draw it on turn 1 with Stratos anyway, it doesn't really matter. So you only really need one of the card, because you've got so many ways to search it already through cards such as E-Emergency Call and other ways as well. So you only really need to play this card at 1. But if you do open this card, or you have a way to search this card with Stratos, it opens up a lot more plays as well. So this card is very strong. So why you have to at least play 1 of this card. So you want to play one of these 2. You could play 2 and 1 or 2 and 1. But I personally feel like this is good just because you don't need as many other cards. And the last Elemental Hero we're actually playing is 1 Honest Neos, because this card literally just says I can boost my Master Hero Darklaw, I can boost my Master Hero Stratos, I can boost any of my hero monsters by 2500 attack and just get in that extra damage to go for a bit more game. So this card is very important as well, just because of going for game, it can be very vital at times. So those are all the Elemental Heroes we're actually playing in the deck. They're all very important, and you want to be playing this ratio specifically. 1 and 1 is optional. As I said, you could play 2 and 1 or 2 and 1, but you would have to figure out ratios on your own. This is just the best ratio that I found in the deck, so it's just what I find to be the most useful. For other cards, though, we're playing Triple Fireflint Lady. This is one of the newer cards that came out of Legendary Battles of Legend Armageddon. This card is actually very strong, and honestly, if this card did not exist, this build would not work. Pretty much what this card does is, if you control a warrior monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. And also you can send this card from your field to the graveyard to special summon 1 level 4 or lower warrior monster from your hand. The monster that you special summon cannot be targeted with card effects this turn. Well, by your opponent card effect. So basically what this does is, if you open it with Stratos, if you open it with literally Solid Soldier, if you open it with Shadow Mist, this card basically guarantees you to go into the cards like Soul Day. This card guarantees you a free summon of Shadow Mist, so you can basically go ahead and get the Dark Mask Change to go into the Darklaw. This card says I get to basically get free summons from the deck without any issue, well, from the hand, without any issue, and just go ahead into your hero plays, such as making Darklaw a whole lot easier. This card is very important in the deck. I would not play this at less than 3, and honestly, it's so strong in the deck and very useful. You're always going to be able to use this card, and that's the great thing about this build. Because of having this card, it just means the deck has so much more potential. And just for any other cards as well, we do play Triple Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs as just a hand trap package, because we want some sort of hand traps to stop our opponent from being able to prevent us from playing the game, just so we can stop them from playing the game if we do end up going second. This is a very going first heavy build, but it does have going second potential as well, so you do want to kind of have like put hand traps in just so you can kind of mediate that. So free Ash Blossom is recommended. Now this could also change. You could play Ghost Ogres, you could play Forbidden Droplets as well. I would honestly suggest, if you have Forbidden Droplets, play them, because this deck can normally go off with 2 cards. So if you have the 2 cards and you use the Forbidden Droplets and negate 2 cards on the board, that's very useful. But if you don't have Forbidden Droplets, play Ash Blossom, play maybe Ghost Ogre to deal with cards like Numeron Network and stuff like Numeron Network and other things, or maybe even Effect Veilers, because Effect Veilers is just as good this format, being able to stop monster effects. But free Ash Blossom, Joyous Springs is just the ones that I would recommend playing. So that's all the actual monsters in the deck. All the monsters are very important, and the ratios are important. You should not play less than 3 Shadow Mist and 3 Stratos, because they're very, very important. Like, you can change the ratios of the Liquid Soldier and the Solid Soldier. I've just found 1/1 to be the best, and free Fireflint Lady is very important. It's very good in any warrior deck. So those are the monsters. Let's actually go into these spells now. For spells, something that's very very unique and very interesting that I've been testing out in this build and really liking is Triple Pot of Extravagance. Now, this card is very, very strong. It's basically Pot of Greed, and a card that says draw 2 in any deck is going to be really strong. Now, I debated in this deck for a long time, do I want to play Desires or do I want to play something else? And in testing, I've been testing this deck a lot, I found that Pot of Extravagance is just very, very good. Now, you don't need every card in your extra deck to believe for this build, so playing with cards like Pot of Extravagance just help you a lot, because like a lot of the cards in your extra deck you're going to be playing up 3 or at least 2, just so you, like the main cards that you want to keep. So say you draw Pot of Extravagance, your hand is kind of mediocre, then you banish 6 cards from your extra deck. As long as you've still got one of your Dark Claws left, as long as you've got one of your Isoldes left, you don't really care. So you, like, Pot of Extravagance is just a free draw 2 in this deck, because we're already playing so many extra deck monsters up multiples, and that's the kind of the thing with control decks that a lot of people don't seem to understand with the cards like Pot of Extravagance. If you're playing multiples of an extra deck based card, such as multiples of Hexter in All Guys, playing multiples of Dark Claw in this, playing multiples of very important extra deck cards, Extravagance doesn't always hurt. So as long as you don't banish 3 Dark Claw in this deck, Extravagance is insanely good, and it's just literally draw 2, which is really nice. So I felt like Pot of Extravagance was just a really nice card. You feel free to say if it's good or bad, but in my opinion, I feel like it's just really strong because of just drawing 2. We're also obviously playing 3 E-Emergency Call, searches all your elemental heroes, so it's very good. Searches Stratos, searches Shadow Mist, search Solid Soldier, searches every elemental hero in the game. Next though, a new addition from Rise of the Duelist, triple Infernoble Arms Durandal. Now, this card is actually insane and has 2 uses in the deck. The first use of this card is you can equip this card to any monster, send it to the graveyard, and then add a Fire Warrior from your deck of level 5 or lower. And you know what's a Fire Warrior in this deck? Fire Flint Lady. So what this card basically does is, it says, I'm an equipped spell that can search Fire Flint Lady, which allows me to go ahead and get the monster that will allow me to make a Isolde, that will allow me to special summon Shadow Mist, that will allow me to essentially play the game in a way that lets me destroy my opponent. So this card literally just says, I'm going to go ahead and look at my opponent and be like, I'm going to search my Fire Flint Lady, I'm going to normal summon Stratos, I'm going to search Shadow Mist, I'm going to special Fire Flint Lady, and then I'm going to special summon Shadow Mist and then get the Dark Claw. And that's literally with just 2 cards. Like literally, there's so many ways to get to Dark Claw turn 1 in this deck, because this is pretty much Dark Claw Turbo 2.0, but it's hero control technically. But Dark Claw Turbo is part of the deck in general. So you want to be playing 3 of this card because it literally just says, I search Fire Flint Lady, I have access to Dark Claw instantaneously. So, and also it has the added bonus of being an equipped spell that I can send with Isolde to the graveyard to summon Fire Flint Lady from the deck as well, giving it another use to summon Fire Flint Lady from the deck, and also just get the monster to be able to summon out the Shadow Mist from the hand. So it has 2 uses, one as an Isolde material, and another as a Fire Flint Lady searcher. So it just basically is there to get Fire Flint Lady. Next, we're also playing triple Mask Change. Mask Change being very important in heroes. It summons your Dark Claws, it summons your Dians, it summons your Acids, it summons your Ankis, your Masked Hero Blasts. It does all of that, and it's really important, so you need to be playing this card at 3. And then lastly, the last few spells. 1 hero lives because pay off your life points, summon Stratos, Stratos searches Stratos, Stratos effect, search another hero, search Shadow Mist, go ahead and make a sword, and then special summon Shadow Mist from the hand, and that's instantly, that's just instant Dark Claw with an Assault on board, and then an additional card in hand from the Assault Search. So, really good card. You want to be playing this in every hero build. Next one, Reinforcements of the Army. Searches any warrior, so pretty much Fire Flint Lady, Stratos, Shadow Mist, Liquid Soldier, Solid Soldier, all of that, just another searcher in the deck. Like, we're playing roughly about 7 searching spells in this deck, 8 if you can include the hero lives, so, like, really, it's really strong. And then finally, a card that I haven't played in a very long time, 1 Mask Charge. And the reason we're playing this pretty much is, you can literally just add Stratos back and add a Mask Change from your graveyard to your hand, and then you just get instant access into any of your extra deck heroes again, which is really nice. And hell, if you have a hero already in hand and a Mask Change in grave, then you can just target like your Dark Claw that's in the grave, put it back in the extra deck, and then use this effect to add the change back as well, and then you just normal summon your Shadow Mist and then summon the Dark Claw again. So you pretty much, this card has multiple versatilities in the deck. Sure, it's a dead card turn 1, which doesn't help its case, but I've been testing it, and in the late game scenario, because this is a control deck and you really want, and this game deck does aim to go for a longer game, having a card like this just allows you to get that extra Mask Change, like having a 4th Mask Change and having a 4th Dark Claw at times. It's really strong, and it's a card that I haven't played in a very long time, but it's also a very strong card. But yeah, so that's all the spell cards we play. Obviously, there's a lot of free ofs, and everything else is like a one-off, but that's kind of like what you need. You need as much consistency in the deck as possible, and that's what kind of like the spells boost. It boosts the consistency by giving us literally 2 draw spells, 3 draw spells, 3 search spells, 8 search spells, 3 summon spells, and then obviously the recycle spell. So that's the spells. Let's go into the traps, the area of the deck that is pretty much, I'm going to have as much back row as I possibly can. So starting off, we obviously play the 3 Infinite Impermanence. This is obviously good for going first or second. You're going into your play, or you have Zexal, well, we're just going to imperm that and deal with that instantly. It's pretty much in every deck, so if you're playing any deck, you really should be playing this. Control, combo, literally, it's the best hand trap in the game. Next, though, we're playing triple Solemn Judgment, one of the best counter traps in the game. Literally just being able to say, I'm going to pay half my life points, and seeing as we already have cards in our deck, such as Hero Lives, that say pay half our life points, this card is even better just for the fact that, oh, I've already paid half my life points, well, now I just pay 2k instead, and then I play 1k, and then I play 500, just to stop my opponent from being able to, you know, play the game in ways with and also with Dark Lord, anything they do summon is going to get banished as well, so just a really good card, just to prevent our opponent from being able to do this, and also can be activated at any time, because obviously the pay half. Next we also play, though, 2 Solemn Strikes, just a little extra precaution. We do pay half our life points a lot, so playing this is very good, just for the fact that, oh, we paid half our life points. Well, this is the cheapest Solemn outside of Solemn Judgment, so this is the one that we're going to want to play instead. And I feel like 2-3 ratio is correct on the Solemn, so I feel like that's just right. And lastly, the last 2 traps is 2 Paleozoic Deinamiscus. Literally, this card is just insane. Being able to target such an Elder Lich, the Golden Lord, being able to target, say, your opponent's Numeron Network, being able to target literally any face-up card or anything along those lines, like even the Alistair on our opponent's board, and then just banish it by discarding a card is absolutely nuts. And being able to discard cards like Shadow Mist, being able to discard cards that just really don't have any use in our hand at the moment is really good. So I feel like this card is always strong, and guys, this will always be live 9 times out of 10 in your opening hand, because you have so many ways to search monsters, even after, like with a Solday, you could search a discard folder for this, because you're not going to be able to use the monster. With Shadow Mist, you're going to Master Change that away, so that instantly gives you a search to get a material for the Deinamiscus. So it's just like, there's so many ways to utilize Deinamiscus, and it's always going to be live, so you want to play this card in the deck. It's just really, really strong. That's the main deck, though. Like this deck is very control heavy, as I've said. It's built to make Dark Lord, it's built to combo off a bit, like it does have its combo plays where it does go into like bigger link monsters, but this is the main deck, and I feel like this is the strongest control build of heroes you could potentially see right now, and it is Elemental Heroes just for that fact. Now, onto the extra deck, we're playing 1 Cross Sheet, because if you special summon a Masked Hero, you can special summon a Stratos back, and that just literally says, oh, I special summon Stratos, then I get a search, so no brainer with this. So like Cross Sheep is just really nice and really strong in any deck that can special summon fusions. Next though, we're playing triple Isolde. Obviously, due to the theme of the deck, we want to play 3 of the most important extra deck monsters, because of Pot of Extravagance. If it does banish one of in your extra deck, you're not going to be able to use that. So we're playing 3 Isolde, because we want to always have at least one. We want at least one to be able to go off in our extra deck. So because this card is actually quite important, because at times, if you do open like Stratos, Solid Soldier, then you do need to be able to make the Assault to go ahead and get the Fireflint Lady to special summon the Shadow Mist from your hand that you searched off the Stratos. So you want to be playing 3 of her, just because of obviously Extravagance is very important and can be useful. Other cards, there are times in this deck, believe it or not, where you can literally end on Dark Lord Appaloosa. So I'm playing 1 Appaloosa in the deck, because this card, because of literally, if you open Solid Soldier, Stratos, and Fireflint Lady, that will 9 times out of 10 equal your board ending on can equal your board ending on a Dark Lord and a Appaloosa, for the fact that you can just make Cross Sheep as well, and then Cross Sheep will go and get you 3 summons from there, because you just use the Cross Sheep effect to summon back a Stratos and then get another search. So Bow of the Goddess does come up, and there are ways to actually end up going into Appaloosa plus Dark Lord, so it is something that I have tested and does work. Next we play 1 Access Code Talker, just the best link. Now, you're only really going to ever get a maximum of 3 pops with this card, but being a fact that it can go up to 4300, being a fact that it can't be chained to, and just getting those 2 pops can really just help you a lot. I felt Access Code Talker in the deck was just really nice, and even though it's a one-off, and you're not always going to use it, if it doesn't get hit by the Extravagance, and you still have all these other cards in your extra deck that you can use, then the Access Code Talker will come up, and it does come up sometimes, so it's just there for the times it comes up, just like the Appaloosa. And also it helps OTK. And then for Xyz monsters, we do play 1 Abyss Dweller, because you can end on Abyss Dweller Darklaw, which isn't always the best, but say you get Ash Blossomed on your, for instance, Stratos, so you can't get the Shadow Mist, well, then you've got the Dweller as a kind of a backup plan to just like make the Dweller, look at your opponent. If they play a graveyard-based deck, this card just ruins them. So, and especially decks like Gold Elder Lich, if you have this, then they 9 times out of 10 just going to pass. So, if they can't do anything else, of course, if they're playing like Numeron, then it's going to be a bit harder. But nonetheless, this card does help at times, so you want to be playing 1 of him. And then just for fusions in general, we're playing 1 Masked Hero Blast, because obviously we do play free Stratos, so you want a Wind Masked Hero in the extra deck. Even if it gets banished, you do want at least 1, so you can just have that thing. And Blast is actually one of the better ones, because it's just the fact that when it's summoned, it can half opponent's monster's attack, and also every turn, once per turn, every turn, you can pay 500 life points and target 1 spell trap card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. So it's got that added utility of just being able to deal with back row a bit and get around some problematic cards. So it's really, really nice there. Next, though, we're playing 3 Masked Hero Darklaw. Darklaw just being one of the strongest elemental hero cards in the game, Masked Hero cards, being the card that really did change the impact of heroes overall. You want to be playing 3 of this card. It's too strong not to play. Plus, you don't want to banish all 3 with your Extravagance, because this card is kind of the driving force of the Control Hero deck. So this card is a free of mandatory, and just the fact that it can rip cards out of your opponent's hand when they add cards to the hand, and being a Macrocosmos for your opponent, it really is still strong, and even in this format, it's still strong. So, looking at the Elder Lich players out there, looking at any deck that relies on Graveyard, Darklaw's coming to get you. So, yeah, you want to be playing 3 of this card. Next, we play 1 Masked Hero Acid. Acid being one of the stronger cards as well, being a Heavy Storm for the opponent, so a Harpy's Feather Duster for the opponent. Now, obviously, this doesn't come up all the time, but if you know your opponent's playing a back row based deck, and you have the Liquid Soldier and a Mask Change at hand, well, 9 times out of 10, you're going to want to go ahead and summon the Liquid Soldier, set the Mask Change, and watch your opponent set 5 and pass, and then just acid them for game. It's just a really strong card, and like even times when it doesn't go off, it's just there for the risk of it going off. So it is a very good card and very strong card at that. Then we also play 1 Anki just to help with us for OTK plays sometimes, because this deck can OTK quite easily. And you want Anki there just to search another Mask Change to go into another Darklaw or another Masked Hero, just so you can go ahead and get the additional damage in to go for game. And then finally, 2 Masked Hero Diane. Now we're playing 2 of this because obviously with Extravagance you don't want to banish them, and the reason we're playing 2 of him specifically is because, well, with Solid Soldier, what you can actually do is, this card plus Solid Soldier plus Stratos plus Fireflit Lady is an OTK thanks to this card. Pretty much how you do that is, you go ahead and normal Solid Soldier, special summon the Stratos. Stratos effect will add Shadow Mist from the deck to hand, Fireflit Lady will special summon, send the Fireflit Lady to graveyard, summon the Stratos from Shadow Mist from the hand, search Mask Change, link off into an Isolde, and then go ahead and use the Isolde to search any monster, then send an equip spell with the Isolde to send Fireflit Lady, Mask Change the Diane, and special summon back a special summon Diane, then Solid Soldier will trigger, special summoning the Shadow Mist from the hero from the graveyard, Stratos probably preferably, and then you've pretty much got 4 monsters to make Access Code Talker with Diane, and then if your opponent does have a monster on the board, you can attack again with the Diane, special summon another Stratos from the deck, and then basically you also add an Honest Neos from your deck to your hand, so you can go ahead for more damage. Like, literally, I've been really theory crafting this deck so much, and I really have so many ideas for this deck. I will be testing this deck on stream, so don't worry, this stream will be coming where I show you guys this deck on stream, but this deck is really strong and really powerful, and that's the last of the actual deck. Now, this is obviously a Control Hero variant. It's a hero variant that I've worked tirelessly to perfect, because there's just so many hero variants out there, and they're really just, a lot of them are just standard, where you're just doing like Forest, set increase effect, special, summon Vision Hero Vion, and then just go from there. And I really wanted to take a different route with heroes from this point on, where you can play more of a control build, or you can go out of your comfort zone and go for a more combo based build, because there are combo variants of this. I just prefer the control variant. But guys, this is just my comfort zone. This is where I've been going with heroes, and I know the Forest build is a lot stronger and a lot better, being able to go into stuff like Plasma. But in my eyes, this deck has a lot more plays as well, and is a lot freer from the Vision Heroes, and just because like heroes lock you in, like with the Vision Heroes and the Destiny Heroes, they lock you very hard into actual heroes. So I wanted to kind of like free that out, show that there are other ways to actually play heroes and other ways you can do that. So that's kind of like the build that I've got here. But guys, this is my updated hero build. As you can see, I went very in depth. I really have been testing this deck out a lot, guys, and thinking about different ways to play it, thinking about new ways to innovate it. And I feel like this is a really cool and interesting build. But guys, tell me what your thoughts are of this build in the comment section below. Tell me if you liked it. Tell me if you didn't. Tell me if you think there's different. Tell me if you think there's different ways you could play the control build. Maybe you prefer a combo build-esque build. Tell me your thoughts, because I really want to hear them in the comment section below. Because guys, this is one of my favorite decks, and I really do love it, and wanted to show you guys the new and improved version of heroes that I have been working on. But guys, that is the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. And guys, heroes, they're the best, and I will always innovate them to the most possible. Robot1 signing out. Later all.